Hello, for strategies today we're going to take a look at our math project that we are taking a closer look at today in math class. And I'm going to do 3 facts with you while you will have to do 2 facts on your own. If you've already done this, that's great. You can look over yours to make sure that you have followed the directions completely. So whenever a teacher provides an assignment where they're giving you multiple days worth of class time, expect that the amount of work needed is going to take over several days and that the work you're creating should be of quality work. So the first thing I want to take a look at is step 1. And so in step 1, it says 3 of our facts are going to be numbers that are at least 1,000 or greater, and then 2 of our facts are going to be numbers that are smaller than 1, meaning that I'm going to have a decimal and then digits that come after it. The number before the decimal is going to be a 0. In this first step, I have created, again, 3 examples. So with us in our fall season, I have facts about apples. And so for 2018, I did a little bit of research and found that Michigan sold 28 million bushels of apples. And so I typed it out so that it was neater. On my next page, I have my second fact. And for my second fact, the top producer of apples is actually the state of Washington. And they sold 171 million bushels of apples in the same year. And for my third fact, sometimes those decimal numbers are a little bit harder to compare or find. So I found that by researching, well, how much does a bushel of apples weigh? And it says it's roughly 48 pounds. So I calculated or converted using a website, well, how much does 48 pounds equal in tons? And so my decimal number fact, which again follows the criteria of less than 1, is 0.024 tons. Now I'm going to go back to our directions. And the second part says that we are converting these 5 facts to standard form. So again, I'm looking at those 3 facts. 28 million is 28,000,000. 171 million is 171,000,000. And then standard form of 0.2024 tons is 0.024. Back to our directions. The next part is to look at the scientific notation. So I'm going to take this number 28,000,000, and I've copied it in my scientific notation area below. And I'm going to make the imaginary decimal move until I get it to here, because the rule for scientific notation is 1 digit decimal the remaining digits times 10 to the power I need to figure out. So I'm swiping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Again, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Next fact is 171 million, and I copied the number here. I know that my number has to be a number, decimal, and the remaining numbers times 10 to the something power. And so I'm going to take my invisible decimal that is at the end and see how many times I'm swooping over. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, I'm stopping when I have 1 digit, and then the others can be behind. I swooped 8 times. And for my last fact, for a small decimal number, here's my number. I need it to be 2.4 times 10 to the exponent of how many I swoop. I know it's 2.4 because I have to have a number in front, one number in front of the decimal. This time a decimal is in my number and I need to swoop 1, 2 is where I'm stopping. I moved 2 times. However, because I started with a small number, making it bigger, it is a negative 2. For the next part of the directions, so I've covered this one as well as this one, you are making these facts interesting. And so we're going to save this direction for another day this week in strategies, and we're going to continue with step 4. So in step 4, I'm going to look at page 8, and here I am comparing my facts. So I typed them here so that they were at my quick reference. You will have 2 additional facts on your own, or again, you don't have to use my topic of apples. And so I thought, oh, well, wouldn't it be cool to compare the top selling state of apples to Michigan's? And so I wrote both of those numbers down, first in standard form, and then I copied it down from my previous page in scientific notation. Difference means that I'm subtracting, so I have my problem here, and then I have my problem here. Both will get me the same answer. So because this is a scientific notation problem, I'm going to solve in scientific notation. So here is kind of a, cannot do it yet, because when I'm subtracting, my exponents have to be the same. So I'm going to write over here that I want to keep that one. So I'm going to keep the top problem. And I can make this problem become an 8 by swooping my decimal one more time and adding 8. So now instead of 2.8, I now have the number 0.28, and so I will line up my problem times 10 to the 8. Now both exponents are the same and I can continue. When I'm subtracting, the rule is I keep my exponent, or my to the 10 to the power of, and now I subtract this out. So I have 8 take away 1, or I'm sorry, 1 take away 8, and I must borrow. 11 take away 8 is 9, 10, 11, 3. Then I have 6 take away 2 is 4, and then bring down my 1 and my decimal. So the difference is 1.43 times 10 to the 8. And I could go back and look at the standard form and do the same thing. When I take nothing away from nothing, I get 0, so I bring those down. I cannot take 8 away from 1, so I borrow. 11 take away 8 is 3. 6 take away 2 is 4, and bring down the 1. Now I could say, oh, okay, does that look like this? Yes. This problem answer is the same as this one. How do I know? Because I can take and swoop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I moved 8 times, which is that exponent. All right. For my second thought, or second comparison, I took my other fact of how much a bushel of apples weighs at 0.024 tons, and I'm trying to calculate, well, how many tons is Michigan's purchases for 2018? And so when 1 ton is, whoops, I did not write that correctly. I need to fix this. And I noticed an error, guys. So I want it to be this right here, 2.4. But when I wrote out this problem, it looked like this. And so I'm moving it 2 times. So I guess that wasn't an error. That's just the scientific notation. So this is a multiplication problem. This is 1 bushel times the 28 million bushels for Michigan right here. So I'm going to do 2.8 times 2.4. I can do this on a calculator, or I can do it out long. And so I will have that problem. And then for the exponents, I know that my answer is going to have 10 to the, and with multiplying, the rule is this exponent plus the other exponent. So 7 plus a negative 2 is 5. And then I can either solve what is 2.8, times 2.4. And when I get that from a calculator, I have, or I can solve. This times this is 32, carry. 4 times 2 is 8, 9, 10, 11. A 0 to hold my place. 2 times 8 is 16, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. I get 2, 7, 6. 1, 2 digits for the decimal. So I have an answer of 6.72. 6.72 times 10 to the 5th is my information for how many tons Michigan sold. I could also write this in standard form by taking 6.72 and moving the decimal 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. And that answer is 672,000 tons. So here is one more comparison that you will have to do on your own. You can do, whoops, I want to change this word, or just change this out of here, that you are just doing that last fact on your own. If I go back to the explanation of the project, I have completed, steps 1, finding facts, 2, finding standard and scientific notation forms, and then 4, comparing 3 of those 5 facts. So last, we're going to look at the creativity. Again, I'm going to save that creativity part because these two items, 3 and 5, will go hand in hand. If you joined me on Zoom, there was no need to watch this video, but you could always go back to it. And if you Zoomed with me today, this is what we are doing as a group in class.